Episode 54 of the Planet Nintendo podcast. Let's see what's on the menu for today. We got PN picks, what we've been playing, what games are coming out. Bringing back an old classic, the old over-under. Most questionable or scary thing Nintendo has done so far this generation. Why do we keep buying games? And a Pokemon Go scandal. So let's get it started. What's up, guys? Episode 54, and I am joined by the best co-host on the planet, Bobby, the Nintendo Guru. What's up, man?
You actually went to me first. Finally, after like a month. Man. What's up, Patty? How you doing?
Just hanging out, living the dream.
In a while, man. I miss your beautiful face.
I know.
You know, it's how you been?
I've been good. It's October, Bobby. You know what that means?
That means that we're going to play some more Tecmo Bowl and I'm going to kick the crap out of you. Is that what that means?
And Joe after work. What is up, man?
What a segue, dude. Chilling, man. I'm ready for Comic-Con. I want to just take a moment and be greedy a little bit, but thank you to everybody last week for helping us raise money for Able Gamers charity. We raised $3,400 over 3 days across all the team of streamers that I'm with, called The Stew, and just thank you guys, because I know a bunch of you from all our communities were in there as well and helping us out. So thank you.
Awesome,
dude. Nice.
Awesome.
So guys, I'm interested in what you've been playing. I actually got to start with Bobby here because all I've been seeing is you playing Alwa's Awakening. How is this game? How is this game?
So okay. I'm still working through it. Okay. But man, it's got its hooks in deep. Like, I like this game a lot. It's I'm doing a review on it, so I really don't want to say too much.
Okay.
But I've been enjoying every second of this game. Really have. And the crazy thing is I'm playing a lot in handheld because of the Satisfy grip.
Yeah.
Which I didn't think I would ever play the Switch in handheld. And I play it all the time in handheld now. I was literally just out, for the last 2 hours, sitting on the couch, playing and watching, had the TV playing in the background. Can't wait. Can't wait to, I beat 2 bosses so far. I believe there's 4, maybe 5 bosses. And, but man, I am a fan of this. And a little backstory is Elden Pixels, the company that made this game, actually came from Zoink Games. A couple of the developers left Zoink and went over and started their own company. And I couldn't be happier with this game. I couldn't be, I'll have a lot to say in my review. Hopefully it's coming this week.
And just for everyone that's not familiar, it's like an 8-bit platformer.
Yeah. Puzzler, platformer, adventure. I want to beat it first before I do my review, because I think that's ultimately what you should do.
Yeah.
I'm trying to beat it as quickly as possible, but it's hit a few spots that are not hard because of boss battles or anything. Just getting to the bosses are hard. So I'm still working through all that.
Nice.
I like that, leading up to the boss, it's like puzzles, basically.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's basically just puzzles all the way up. Yeah.
Joe, what about you?
I've not played my Switch as much this week because I was playing Luigi's Mansion. Played through that on my GameCube. Knock that out. Bobby knocking his not in his head.
Why didn't you just Why didn't you just wait for it to come out to the 3DS?
Because I wanted to play it over there. I had the game already. I was like, okay, I'm gonna play. I'm still gonna pick it up.
Because the 3DS version would be a downgrade.
No. Anything's better than the game.
It adds a bunch of stuff, though. Well, not a bunch of stuff, but it adds stuff on the 3DS one. So I'm still gonna pick it up. But I'm going in with the intentions of I want to play Dark Moon on the 3DS, so that way I'd just be ready for 3. So don't be disappointed in me.
I'm disappointed in you. I'm disappointed, Mr. 3DS. Mr. 3DS.
I had the game already on the GameCube.
No, yeah, it would have been nice for me as a fan to see what that game looked like. No, we want to ruin it. We want to spoil the game for
No,
everybody.
because
by
now we could
playing that
do a
trash version.
comparison.
No, it's not the
That's
same
what
thing.
I
You know it.
do.
You're not gonna play. No, you're not gonna play the whole thing through again. Stop
Probably
it.
not going to play the whole thing through. I'm playing
Thank
all the
you.
Resident Evil games, but yeah, I'm going to show
like
enough
4
for
hours.
people to get.
It's like
yeah,
a 4-hour game.
I'm
this
disappointed.
is like a
Joseph.
6 for me.
Yeah.
Oh
man.
man, but yeah, that and I was playing a little bit of Alice Awakening too. I only got through the first area. That and
Yep.
Regalia Lost. I've been getting kind of hooked on a little bit.
It's the mobile game, right?
Yeah. I got I just unlocked like a skill tree section. I'm like, geez, how many things are gonna unlock before I just move on and like dive even deeper into the story?
Yeah.
I like it so far. I'm not gonna. I don't see myself spending money. Like the minute it tells me like I get into a story and I have to like spend money on something, I'm just like I'm out. But
Yeah.
so far it seems like you can play the story and be perfectly fine with it. They've got like the summon system, which is kind of similar to Fire Emblem Heroes, is expanded even more because it's more than just characters. It's dragons and then items as well. And you don't get to choose which one. Everything is randomized at once. So you can either, when you put in money for a summon, it'll either be, or a Warmite is what they call it. You can either get a character, get a dragon, or get an item. And if it's a duplicate of a character, then you get Elden Water, which goes towards your character kind of to make them more powerful or something like that. So that's pretty a neat way to like avoid duplicate characters, at least.
Not bad, not bad. I picked up Arcade Pack. Yeah, we did that. Basically, it's Namco Museum with the Championship Edition 2. So it's kind of like a nice bundle, and it's physical. There were a lot of people that wanted Namco physical. Also, picked up Steriden. It's actually one of the games that got announced for Super Rare games. It's that shoot 'em up. So that came out. That's been fun. Of course, playing spooky games. I'm not gonna spoil which ones, but
Nice.
it's getting spooky in here. We're bringing back a classic, Over or Under, and interestingly enough, I went back because we've been on the air for over a year. So I went back to the episode prior, and we did a Over Under, and it's actually pretty funny. It was I think it was published on October 2nd, so it's pretty much a year. And the questions were, it was like an 80% chance we would get a new Animal Crossing. It was talking about if the new Smash was going to come out in 2018, whether it was going to be a deluxe or like a new game. And Joe was like, "There's no way, there's no way." So it was pretty funny. And then we also talked about the N64 Classic, which that's pretty cool. So, but this week we have 5. They're gone now. We have 5 questions or scenarios, and basically, I give a scenario, I give a percentage, and Bobby and Joe will give me their take on it, whether the percentage is too high or too low, and they have no idea what these questions are. So, I'll start with Joe this time.
Oh, fun.
40% chance the Nintendo Switch brand lasts until 2023.
Ooh.
So that would be 6 years from launch.
I'd say yeah. Yeah, sure. I'd say over. Yeah.
Over?
Yeah.
Okay. Bobby?
What's the percentage again?
40.
40% chance that the Switch lasts beyond 2023?
6 years. So the Wii U was 4 years?
I think it's going to last well beyond that.
Okay.
Well beyond. I just think that it's something that will get upgrades and continually evolve. Like this iteration that we have now, like this version, no. But the Switch brand itself will be far, above and beyond that easily, because you will get a Switch 2, 3. I'm assuming that's the name. We'll get new Switch Deluxe, new Switch Deluxe. That's stupid stuff. But ultimately, like I think that's what's going to happen.
Yep. Yeah, if the Switch was just a home console, I probably would have to think about that a little bit more, but the handheld market, we know what the 3DS is doing. And I think that the Switch might become like the next evolution of it or de-evolution, I don't know, would be like switching to just a handheld console. So instead of like a home console, be a Switch or whatever. Bobby, 10% chance. Now this is a lot lower than it was months ago. 10% chance we get Odyssey DLC. I know this is kind of
There's a 0% chance for getting Odyssey DLC. It is done.
Okay.
The game is a wrap. It is over. Move on, people. The game is done. Now, and I'm assuming that we mean by DLC, we just don't mean stupid costumes.
No costumes.
We mean levels and worlds. Not happening. Forget about it. Pipe dream. Stop smoking the hashish and move on.
Joe?
I'm wholeheartedly with Bobby on this one. We're not getting Super Peach World 2, unfortunately. That was like the golden opportunity for DLC right there, was give her stages, and I won't spoil anything at that point. Just 0% at this point. We're over a year in like a month, like a few weeks. So
So there's no spoilers anymore. If you haven't played Odyssey, like go pick it up. So we had the Mario 64 was the end world in that one. Super Odyssey 2, we have Isle Delfino. How about that? Makes sense.
No.
All right. Joe, 25% chance Pokemon Let's Go is a one and done game.
Oh man, that's a tough one.
I guess you would classify it as a spin-off using Pokemon Go elements. Do we think that this is just a trend, just a fad, or are we gonna get Let's Go like Gen 2?
And I've said it before, like, but if it's an over and under, I'm gonna have to go with my gut and say under that. Wait, hold on. Rephrase the question again, because I want to make sure that I'm what I'm about to say is.
So 25% chance this is the last Let's Go game. 25% chance this is the only Let's Go game we'll ever get. The only Pokemon game that'll be tied in with Pokemon Go.
Okay, so I would say under, because I think if this game does really well, that we see a second Let's Go after the year after Gen 8. So this year Let's Go, next year Gen 8, the following year Let's Go 2, or whatever they end up calling it, in my opinion. And maybe those end up being, and this sort of goes back to something I said, episodes ago at this point. I think the Let's Go series, when they do those, will sort of be based around like the ultimate versions of the prior Pokemon games. So like we got Yellow now, maybe we get the Crystal version of Let's Go for Gold and Silver the following, like 2 years from now or something like that, you know? That's sort of my thought process behind it.
Mr. Barbarino?
I believe that this becomes the third iteration of Pokemon games. So we get the mainline game, we get a Let's Go game, and then we get like Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, like those types of games. So I feel like this is just another iteration of what ultimately we get along the way. I think that this series will continue for a very long time because it's allowing. First off, let's be honest. This game is going to sell like gangbusters. Everybody wants it. Everybody's pre-ordering it. They made a special console for it. This thing is going to be massive. This series is going nowhere. If they get people that are playing Pokemon Go to come into this and play this version, it's lights out. The other thing too is that stupid nut that showed up in Pokemon Go. They're saying that was Gen 8, right?
Yeah, the Megalon, the Ditto, like the ancient version of Ditto.
Melton or something?
Yeah, Melton. There you go.
Yes,
Sorry.
Yes. So the thing is are the Pokemon that show up in Pokemon Let's Go, are they Gen 8 or are they not?
No, it's Gen 1, but that one is supposedly going to be tradable. Like, the impression that I got, there's a video on the Switch in the news feed of this very thing where the professor from Go is talking to Professor Oak from Let's Go,
Yep.
like the same animation and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like you'll be able to trade that version of Ditto into the Let's Go series, and it'll count as a Pokemon. But that seems like it'll end up being a Gen 8 thing. Another thing to keep in note is apparently there's some lore that's rumored to tie into Gen 8 with Let's Go in terms of the starter Pokemon in particular, which they made people cut out when they did their previews of this game. So there's some information hidden there that we're going to find out.
If they're putting this much detail in, this is something big. I think this is Nintendo's way of making money off of Pokemon Go.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
When Pokemon Go first came out, it was split 3 ways between Google, Pokemon Company, and Niantic, and Nintendo. Nintendo was basically those stupid strap things. That's where they took 100% of the profit off of that. But the money that Niantic and Pokemon Company are making off of Pokemon Go, Nintendo gets none of that. So when you buy stuff, that's all going to the Pokemon Company. Now, granted, Nintendo owns a percentage of Pokemon Company, but what I mean is they're not taking full profits off of any of this. This is all strictly Pokemon Company, and I forget how Google makes their money. I know that they were supposed to have something that worked with Google Glass or Google Glasses. That was going to be something that could potentially be. That aside, this is Nintendo in my eyes. Nintendo's opportunity to now make money and cash in off of this because of the ability. Look, I went back full force hardcore on Pokemon Go, and that was because I wanted to be able to transfer Pokemon that I was catching into Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee to help me with that game a little bit. Like, I've caught some top level legendaries and stuff that I want to move into that game to help me with that game and to get me through a little bit quicker and easier. So it's interesting. I think it's an interesting take on what they're doing.
Cheater, play the game right.
Do what?
Cheater, play the game right. Man up, catch your Pokemon again.
So
come on, listen, man. Shut your face over there. Are you playing Pokemon Go?
I have played Pokemon Go, not in like the last 2 years.
No. I said, are you?
Yeah.
Well, then walk away.
I play real
from
Pokemon. I'm sorry.
So this is what I'm going to say. I'm actually going to go against the grain here. I think there's going to be a higher percentage that this is a one and done for this reason, because 2018, you got Let's Go. 2019, we got Pokemon whatever. Mm-hmm. So the earliest that we're going to get another iteration is 2020. I think with this game that is still very active, but has declined a little bit. It's still very active. But I don't know. I don't know if they keep like an app and a game working for that long. Maybe they keep updating Let's Go. Maybe they come out with like a Gen 2 DLC type thing.
Listen, Pat, come on, dude. They introduced Gen 2 and 3 into Pokemon Go, and it's like like every time they introduce a new gen and they change things up, like they're gonna have battles now where like trainers can battle against each other and stuff.
Yeah,
it's opening that game up big time. It's making that game a real life Pokemon for people, and I think that is what's gonna keep the hardest of hardcore fans locked in on that moving forward. I mean, we'll see. Yeah. You could be right. You could absolutely be right. But I just think there's a lot of people, myself included, that sold that game short. And now the resurgence. Dude, I'm telling you, I went out 2 weeks ago, 40 people strong. 40 people strong, dude, running from poke gym to poke gym to poke gym to catch Moltres. It's insanity, dude. This game is crazy.
Yeah, Pokemon Go itself has like its core audience that it's kind of locked in since the initial like release of that game. Like that summer, 2016, I think it was.
So great.
Was just insane and unreal. And yeah, it fizzled out, but like Bobby was saying, there's that core group of people that are going to continue to support this game. And some of those people will end up getting Let's Go. Some of those people are just going to stay as Pokemon Go enthusiasts, and they're going to really hone in on just playing that game.
This Pokemon Go now, if this would have been the launch Pokemon Go, people would have fizzled off of it. It is so good right now.
Yeah.
It is so much better. I can literally turn it on right now and there'll be Pokemon to catch. Dude, I used to turn it on before and it'd be forever before I would even see one.
Yeah.
Now they're popping up all over the place.
Yeah.
And it's the battle system, the gym system, the raids. So much fun, dude.
Different game than what it was when it launched, for sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the last one, Bobby will take this one. Actually, you mentioned this last episode. 70% chance that the N64 Classic has more than 10 games.
I think we get 10. That's it. That's it.
Damn.
Maybe 11, but we're not getting that many. I don't care what PlayStation's doing. Nintendo does their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we get 10 and that's it.
Damn. Joe?
I'm gonna go 180 on this one, just because although Nintendo drums to their own beat, they've also done some things that surprised me last couple years. So maybe not 20 to rival it, but maybe 15. Keep it at that middle ground there between 10 and 20, you know? So I think we get more than just 10 games if there is an N64 Classic that comes out.
Yeah. I'm going to say more, or no, I'm going to say definitely more than 10 games, because the $100 price tag, this is supposed to be a casual type thing. We're getting into like kind of expensive for like the casual family to go in, and this is supposed to be like a spur of the moment purchase. And I feel like we're kind of getting
first off, who says $100?
It's going to be $100.
You're assuming it's $100.
2 N64 controllers.
You're assuming it's $100. And you're assuming you're going to get 2 N64 controllers.
It would be better.
I'm just
10
saying.
games? 10
just
games
saying,
to one controller? Jeez.
Be careful, because you're promising people a bunch of stuff, and then what happens when it don't come through? And everybody gets mad at Nintendo. And they never said this.
PNP gets everything right. We've gotten everything right. 100%.
Not really, because you brought me back to the show, so you're not getting everything right.
Oh my god.
I'm going to say more than 10. I don't know. It's just like if you have two classic consoles next to each other and one has half the games that the other one does, it's not a good look. All right. My first topic today is going to be kind of in the spooky Halloween theme. So I wanted to ask you guys, what's the most questionable or scary thing Nintendo has done with the Switch generation? I'll start with Joe.
Just because this was last week's subject and the subject came up a few months ago, I'll bring it up again. This questionable, scary thing is these cloud versions of these video games that are coming out in Japan. And what it all means, I'm still convinced that somewhere down the road, we get some sort of added-on service where these games do come out as that, and that's sort of the way that these AAA games make it over. But if they continue to keep it as like the temporary license for 2 years, like they're doing with Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I don't know how that's gonna jive if it ever does get outside of Japan. I feel like it would, but I feel like it would under a service of some sort. But if they do it in the way that they're doing it right now, I don't. It's just that's a scary thing to me.
Okay, Bobby, something scary.
Joe's thought patterns scares the hell out of me. I think this. I mean, it's not scary in terms of like it's scary, but it's. I will admit that the fact that they're stuck down on voice chat, being on a mobile phone, on the cloud saves, only working on a certain games, stuff like that doesn't really necessarily make sense to me. Now, the one thing that actually blew me away last night when I was doing Nintendo Talk Live with Jack Gilbert from Ojo, we were discussing that, and he goes, that's because over here, all voice chat everything is done through the phone. And they're like, so in Japan, in Korea, in China, this is a no-brainer for them. Like when Nintendo announced it, they were like, oh, okay, makes sense. And for us, we're just like, whoa. And so I now kind of see why Nintendo's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why Nintendo of America don't pipe up and be like, this don't work over here. It works there. It doesn't work over here. But that said, I just wonder why they're still marching to the beat of this drum and just, you know, even the cloud save thing. Like I get the Pokemon Go or the Pokemon Go thing. I mean the Let's Go thing. Because Pokemon Company wants to sell you that Poke Bank and they want you to continue to buy that Poke Bank and so a cloud save option pretty much in the future could negate the Poke Bank. And I understand that. But I don't understand why Splatoon 2 doesn't allow it. You don't allow Splatoon 2, but you allow Mario Kart and you allow Aces. Why? Doesn't make sense to me. Like, can't you cheat the same way in those games as you can here? And it's like, don't understand it. Because it's not like, because here's the thing, it's not like if I rank up in Splatoon, it doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't make me a better player. It just has a better number next to me. If anything, if I cheat to move up the ranks, it's kind of stupid because the fact that now I'm starting to play against people that are so much better than me, it's not worth it. So I don't understand that portion of this, and I'll never wrap my head around it. And I think it's a bunch of BS, and Nintendo needs to fix that. That's my opinion.
Yeah. The scariest thing for me was at launch when we saw the console for the first time and we saw those two people playing ARMS. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. Motion control is back. And still, it's a little bit questionable because, I mean, they're bringing back a lot of the Wii remasters and stuff like that. But it kind of seems tacked on at this point. The Mario Tennis game, of course, has the swing mode, which is a novelty thing. And it just seems like extra stuff that we don't necessarily need. But that was pretty scary to me. Nintendo going back. I guess they kind of want the casual market back, but that was scary to see two people playing Wii boxing.
I would almost say it kind of works to their detriment, though. You know, like
Yeah.
There's certain games where I'm surprised motion control isn't like a thing in terms of like even using it as a mouse pointer. Specifically, this game that Rybo was playing, City Skylines, where he has to draw out everything by hand on the Switch. And I was like, dude, there's no motion controls for that. Like, you can't just like activate like. Have it set up so that way the IR sensor on the right Joy-Con just like starts allowing you to move around and draw it the way. I feel like that would add for more precision on there. Like that's a thing that's just like waiting to happen. That would make life so much easier. That's like a way to get through these point and click adventures that are coming out on the Switch also. Like just being able to utilize that right Joy-Con opens up so many different possibilities, and I'm just surprised that that isn't a thing being taken advantage of. Yeah.
Even games like Smite that's coming out, and even like Arena of Valor, like use that pointer. That'd be a nice way to play. But the motion control does work. It's not like it doesn't work. It just seems like a feature that they just threw on there, and I don't see a lot of developers using them. But I do like
Mario Party is very heavy with it.
I can't wait for that.
N64 Josh, when I talked to him about it, he was saying, he goes, dude, it is crazy. Like you have a cooking game, a cooking mini game where you have a frying pan and you're flipping food and it's flipping in the pan as you do that motion and you shake it. And he's like, it is very fluid. So maybe you just feel that way because you haven't really played a game that makes you feel like this is the option. But Mario Party is very heavily motion controlled. And I think that will open you up a little bit to make you realize, like, these Joy-Cons are actually a lot better than you think they are. Yeah. I mean, time will tell. But my talk to him, it sounded like it was very different than what we've seen so far.
Yeah.
But that's the other thing, too. Nintendo knows how to, like, showcase their product. It's the third parties and the indies that, you know,
yeah,
there's opportunities there to take advantage. They just don't know it yet until someone shows them how to use it, you know?
yeah. I'm not totally against it. It was just kind of scary to see in the launch trailer. I mean, it was
Rumble.
good that the HD Rumble. Oh my god. Joe has a very serious topic about an illness that we all have.
We're all very sick. This one comes from a Nintendo Life article I was reading. It came out earlier today, from the recording, but it talks about, you know, why do we want more games? And it's a thing that's always come up. I feel like PS3 360 era, this really started to become a thing with console owners because of the open of the PSN, the Xbox Live Arcade, and all that stuff. But it's interesting, and I want to get your guys' thoughts about it. But why is it that we have all these games that are coming out that are already out now, and all we can look forward to is the next thing when we sometimes haven't even finished the games that we currently own? And we're all guilty of this, bar none, for sure. Dude, I'm playing Luigi's Mansion yet. Freaking Valkyria Chronicles 4. I'm just looking at it right now. Like, that's there. Like, that should be on my plate next, you know? But it's just like, no, I wanted to jump back into this real quick before, because I knew I can knock it out in a short amount of time before I jump into another, like, 40 to 80 hour adventure that you know, that's going to take me a really long time to get through. So
I'm actually interested in Bobby's take on this, because he's an old school gamer where game releases were far less frequent versus modern gamers. So,
I mean, look, first off, don't lump me in with your sickness over there, Joe. Like, you're the one that's got a real sickness over there. You're buying games like it's like insanity, man. I kind of backed off a little bit. I'm gonna be honest with you. There was a time where I was really like every week picking up a game or two, and now it's kind of been like I want games that really talk to me, really speak to me before I do stuff. It's crazy because last night when I was talking to Super Nintendo on NintenTalk Live, we were discussing the fact of like playing the original Punch Out and how good you get at that game, because you got that game and you didn't get another game for like a few months.
Yeah.
And that's all you played every single day, because that's the way things were. Games came out less frequently. Good games came out less frequently. Now, back then, you had a lot. The third party games were making games just on the same level that Nintendo was making them, essentially. As years have gone on, Nintendo's kind of separated from them. Nintendo was always the best games, but still, like Castlevania and Metal Gear and all those games were just as good as a Nintendo franchise. So I feel like now it's like we're getting a lot of games, but we're also getting a lot of trash. Let's be fair. There's a lot of bad games on the Switch right now. And there's a lot of games that I look at and I just go, I have zero need for this game.
You just kind of glance over it at that point.
And then there's games that are like games that I'm interested in, but I feel like they're so priced out of the ballpark for me. Like that the City Lines or City Skylines or whatever one. I want that. I'm like $40. Just I don't have that much of a want for it. I'm gonna wait for it to come down. So I've kind of changed my mindset. You know, the crazy thing is like we had this mentality of we need games, right? And there's no games on the Switch, and it's all ports. And then a game like Fortnite comes and literally sucks up half my year of playing that game. And it's like that's all you really need is one monster game that you can always go back and have a good time with, and then other games that kind of fill the gaps of when you get bored of the monster game and then you go back to it. So there's just so much, and I don't know. I think that people need to start picking and choosing what they want.
Yeah.
And that's the best you can do. That's what I've started to do. Because I'm like, there's no way I can afford all these now. And as I say that, I'm getting hit with a bunch of games this week that are coming out. It's like, holy crap, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, you know, Mega Man 11's hitting this week, and it's like
that or Super Mario Party.
Well, that's an easy fix for me. One comes with an amiibo and the other one doesn't. So
that's true too. Yeah.
I will amiibo hunt till my days are dead. And
you heard it here. He's back in.
Oh, dude, I haven't left.
I would recall a few episodes ago. You're like, I'm out. That's it. It's over. I'm done.
I don't ever remember saying I'm out. That's it. I might have said
as an addict would say. Don't worry, I'm with you, Bobby. I'm with you.
First step is
I had that pre-ordered day one.
I did too. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what you're talking about over here.
I think a big part of it too is people don't want to miss out on the next Celeste. They don't want to miss out on the next like Hollow Knight. Mm-hmm. So you almost feel like out of the loop. You get a lot of pressure if like you two were playing a certain game and I was just like, well, damn, that sounds good. Like, there's so many examples, but it's just like,
I mean, like, dude, like Alawa's Awakening. Like this has been on my radar for a very long time. When it came to Steam, I wanted it. And I actually remember a year ago asking them, are you bringing it to Switch? And they were like, it's not in the cards. And I was like, oh God, this game looks so good, man. It's an NES classic type game, man. It's like a throwback. And then the minute they announced it was coming to Switch, dude, I jumped on that train and I was like, bring it home, man. Mm-hmm. So when that one launched, I was fortunate enough that they reached out to me and asked me to review it. So I didn't have to buy it. But like that was a day one for me. It was on my wish list. I was ready for that one the day it hit. So there's games that are going to hit that are going to be worth your money and worth your time, but it's few and far between. And I think that like as much as games get me hyped to go spend, sometimes I just back off a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Joe, what about you, man?
Yeah, no, for me, I mean, I've slowed down on the spotlights just because there's just so much stuff that I'm like, that's pretty questionable. I'm not going to pick that up. Or like, maybe I will wait for a sale on certain things. Like, there's this Marble Madness looking game. Marble Madness is a guilty pleasure of mine from Game Boy Color days. Like, oh my God. It's just it's a difficult puzzle game if you make it that way. And playing that on the Game Boy Color with just the D-pad it can be a bit of a pain because they give you these tiny areas of like just like small bridges and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But there's this game that's like it that's $20 right now. I'm like, I like Marble Madness. I don't like it that much to want to pick it up right now, so I'm gonna wait for a sale on that one. Oddly enough, I think that came out on a Saturday, which is an odd release date. There's a game that came out today. We're recording on a Sunday too, which is even more bizarre. But like, I've slowed it down for sure, and you know, it's like there's certain games that people will ask me, "Hey, you plan on picking this? Hey, you plan on showing this off?" And I'm like, I haven't even heard half of these games, but then I go back and I'm like, maybe I ignored it because it wasn't for me. And so that's why I didn't go out of my way to pick it up. Like, I'll give an example for Planet Alpha. Looking at it, I knew exactly what it was going to be, and I knew that it wasn't for me because the last game I played of it was like Inside, where it's sort of like one of these narrative-driven games without being narrative-driven. And the story of the environment is told throughout all the platforming and whatnot, and it's got some crazy, deeply rooted hidden message that unless you like got a doctor's degree in freaking philosophy or something like that, you'll be able to unfold the mystery of what this story really means and how it's deeply rooted. And then everyone on the podcast will do a spoiler cast and say, yes, it means this. And it's just like, all right, get off your high horse. Anyway.
Spicy Joe, I like it. Jeez.
It's just sorry, I'm sick. That's probably why. But yeah, it's like, okay, that was like one of the last times I was like, nah, I can't keep doing it like this. Like, just no. Yeah. I knew it wasn't for me, yet I tried it anyway because someone asked to watch it, but I can't go out shelling out everything over anything just to spotlight it. Like,
and there's a good chance that all the games you're interested in coming out, you wait like a couple months, maybe even a month, it's gonna be on sale. Like, even the greatest games go on sale. Like Celeste was on sale a couple times.
I disagree with that notion. I really do. If there's something that speaks to you, don't wait for a sale. Go get it.
Oh yeah.
The developers need that money.
Yeah.
especially the indie teams, go support them. Just don't support everything all together. Like,
Yeah.
if something really is exciting, like, again, I'm going to refer back to Alawa's Awakening. Like, I knew I wanted that game. That game was on my wish list. It hits, boom, I would have went and got it. Luckily, I got it, a review copy. But any other games that are like that, like, if there's something on my radar, like Mega Man 11, like, buying it day one, like, the games that I'm kind of iffy about, they're the ones that I'm like, well, I'll wait for a sale on. You know what I mean? Because but I think that, like,
you can almost tell.
Yeah.
And not to diss any developer that has spent hard working time and hours away from family members and whatnot working on these games, but sometimes you can kind of tell what's going to be on sale in 2 weeks, 3 weeks time.
Yeah. And there's things that, like, the pre-sale is a thing that's like big now too. So if you're really in on a game, which it's worth it at that point, because people
jump in.
jump on it pre-purchase, because instead of spending your coins like to get the same price, pretty much jump on it earlier. It's
that I agree with. If they're offering the pre-sale, then jump on it.
And then Bobby, his favorite game ever, Pokemon Go, has a little bit of a scandal.
Little bit. I wanted to throw this story at you. I just literally saw this story a few minutes ago, but I wanted to see what you guys thought. It comes from Nintendo Insider. It says Niantic has slapped Brandon Tan with a Pokemon Go ban, recognized as one of the most prominent players around the world. When accessing the location-based game, he has now met with a message: your account has been suspended for violating terms of service. The newspaper reported how Tan was charging players $25 an hour to power level their accounts, sitting near a Pokestop with 4 iPads, just spinning the photo discs and hurling Pokeballs at any monsters that popped up. He started that business soon after Pokemon Go launched, quitting his job as an insurance agent, as the social phenomenon that the game sparked soon saw him start to earn $200 to $300 per night, along with the revenue that he received from his YouTube channel. Tan has since started to sell Pokemon themselves that he has caught. He recently just started a Mewtwo service, and it says, "I am providing Mewtwo service, which consists of any 495% and 100% service will still be available till October 23rd. He advertised on his Twitter, "This is in direct violation of Niantic guidelines, where the developer writes, don't do it, play fair. Pokemon Go is meant to be played on a mobile device and get you outside to explore your world. Methods of cheating, unfortunately, are limited only by the cheater's imagination, but include at a minimum the following: using modified and unofficial software, playing with multiple accounts, meaning 1 account per player, please, sharing accounts, using tools or techniques to alter or falsify your location, or selling trading accounts." So that's all the stuff that Niantic views as, here, if you do this stuff, you're cheating. This guy obviously is breaking them rules to do what he's doing. And finally, I guess people must have reported him enough that Niantic has stepped in and said, we're going to do something now. I don't know what your takes. Pat, you play the game. What's your take?
Kind of reminds me of like Barry Bonds or Mark McGuire. You find out they've been taking steroids the whole time. I don't care if you're the face of anything. If you cheat, or in this case, break the terms of service, yeah, you get banned. Pokemon Go has been exploited ever since it started.
Absolutely.
And that's why things like trading still don't even have Pokemon battles, but they're coming. And I think that they've been putting them off for so long because they're trying to find ways, how can we limit like exploiting? People have been using programs to, they could be like sitting right here, but walking in like San Francisco or something like that.
My nephew does it. Literally, he's sending me gifts from China, and I'm like, dude, how are you sending me gifts from China? And he's like, oh, I'm playing.
That's
I'm like,
nuts.
Dude, what is the fun of that? Like, I don't understand the fun of that, but
yeah,
it's a thing, I guess.
That's the Pokemon fan base, dude. There's like casual, hardcore, and then Pokemon fan. They're just like they'll do anything to be the best. I agree with it. I agree. I mean, yeah, you probably turned a lot of people onto the game. You're well known in the community or whatever, but if you break the rules, so he can break the rules and no one else can break.
Yeah, like, it's a bit much.
Yeah.
How about you, Joe? What's your thoughts?
Man, this reminds me, and I can't remember if this was you or one of my coworkers, because he's obsessed with Pokemon Go, and there was a guy that was sitting on a bench at the park, and he had like a table that had, or like some kind of setup or something like that had like all these different phones. Whatever, was that you?
I don't remember that.
Okay, so then it had to have been my coworker. Okay, this dude, and I'm assuming the park is probably Central Park then, because I'm like right by there by my job. And so he's got this like whole setup where it's like his backpack, the table, and he pulls up the thing so that way the rain doesn't like hit the phones when it gets wet or whatever. And he's got all the phones, and he's just messing around with all of them. Do you think that that's probably what he was doing to like sell the Pokemon?
Of course, yeah. Because ultimately what he's trying to do is, here's the thing. So in order to beat a Mewtwo, you need to have multiple people fighting at once. Like I can't go to a Pokemon gym, and raid Mewtwo by myself. He'll crush me 6 ways to Sunday. Like it'll never happen. Even 2 people. It recommends like I think 8 to 15 people even to attempt to go after him. So, and they tell you like you need to have all these different type of Pokemon to even go, and if you don't have them, you better have more people coming. You have a maximum of 20 people raiding him at once. So, and then even after you raid him, there's no guarantee that you're going to get him, because now you have to throw a Pokeball at him and catch him. And he has to stay in the Pokeball, and you need to keep him there. Which, by the way, Mewtwo disappears, so he's floating around, disappears. So it's a luck base. So what he's doing, yes, he has multiple units there, and he's doing these things. He's catching them, and then he's trying to build them up and make them more powerful and all that. And it's insanity, dude. It's insanity.
Probably trading them all to one account, and then,
could be, and then that's how he's selling them, is because he's trading them to one account. Because here's the thing, he's probably logged into numerous accounts, and then if you sit at a gym every 5 minutes, you could spin, right? So if I sit there every 5 minutes, I could spin the disc. And me and my buddy Miguel have done this. We've literally like just sat someplace. We go to Chili's, right? We go to the Chili's here. It's a gym. So when we sit there and we're eating dinner, we keep the phones out, and then like every 5 minutes, boom, we spin and get Pokeballs and all that stuff. And then like we'll battle, we'll take the gym over, and we'll just wait. People fight us, and then we'll take the gym back. And so that's what we do while we're eating dinner. And so this guy is obviously just sitting at a spot, and he's working the iPads and the phone, and he's basically just hitting them and generating all this. I mean, because if he's basically got 4 accounts, you can't have 4 accounts logged in.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't have the same account logged in on multiple devices. If it recognizes that you're, and maybe I'm wrong with that. Maybe you can.
I think one email can be logged in.
Yeah, you can't be. Well, here's something else, because my niece got banned. So she lives in Florida, and she didn't get banned. She got a temporary suspension. What happened was she was in Florida, and her mom, she's young, so her mom won't take her out to go raid. But my cousins and I were all going to go raiding up here. So what they told her was, hey, Sammy, don't play for 24 hours. We're going to log you in up here, and then we're going to do the Moltres raid, and we'll catch him for you, and then it can go back. Then when you log in next time, you'll have him already. So she's like, okay, because her mom won't let her go out with, her mom won't do it that far extent. So they go and they log her in, and the suspension come up because she was playing earlier that morning. So Niantic looks and goes, you're playing in Florida this morning. Now you're playing in New Jersey like 2 hours later. It's impossible.
Yeah.
You're cheating. Boom. And they put a temporary suspension and they warn you. This guy, this is totally different. This guy must have been logging in, getting a bunch of stuff, and then building up people's levels and all that stuff. But man, to pay somebody $25 an hour, what is wrong with you? That's your life.
When
Like,
Pokemon Go was really big, you could look on Craigslist and you could hire Pokemon Go drivers.
Yeah.
Someone would take you
Wow.
around to all the stops, 20 an hour or something.
But yeah, because originally when Pokemon Go first started, you could play while driving, meaning I could be sitting in the back seat, hitting the stops, catching Pokemon. Now they stopped all that. The minute that car gets over a certain mile per hour, boom, it shuts it down and doesn't allow you to do anything. And the other thing I remember you used to be able to do too was you used to be able to hire drivers that would put them, like Uber drivers would have like multiple ones in their car, and they were walking Pokemon. So they were they were getting the eggs and stuff from walking, because you used to be able to drive and it wouldn't shut off. Now you wouldn't get as much. It would take you longer to get a candy from walking because you're driving, but you would still get them easily, you know? So
that's insane.
It's just like people need to look at themselves in the mirror and go, what's the point of you playing this game?
That's what all the fun out of it.
Yep.
Thank you. Yeah. Like I said it to my nephew. I'm like, dude, what fun is this for you? You sit at your house. You caught a Mr. Mime like 2 months ago, 3 months ago, and that was exclusive to a certain territory. Yeah. I believe it was exclusive to Europe. So you traveled to France and you caught him for what? Because guess what? Now I have 5 of them right now because walking eggs unlocks them, and it's like, so you did that for what? It's not like anybody, like, you're not making money off of this. It's not like people are praising you for it, you idiot. Like, and then when they lock your account out, then what do? You don't play the game no more? It's like stupid.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, don't do it.
Exactly.
It's like selling any other account like Fortnite or the free V-Bucks thing. Like, just don't do it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'll be down in Jersey to get that Mr. Mime.
I got a bunch of them, so if you want one, go get them. I got a fletchling too. I got 2 fletchlings too.
Okay.
So anytime, whenever you decide to get off your lazy butt, come down. Whenever you decide to actually call me when you're down here in Jersey, let me know.
Oh, shots fired.
Going to the Cape soon. Spend a couple of days at the Cape.
What, Cape May?
Cape Cod.
Oh, forget Cape Cod. That's garbage.
It is garbage. That is episode 54.
Someone got jealous and pulled out a red shirt at the end of the show.
At the end of the show, I was like, you guys were wearing red. I was like, oh, I didn't get the memo, so I guess I should wear red.
Yeah, but he waits till the end of the show to do it. What's wrong with you?
Dude, I've been wearing this the entire show.
Did you?
Yeah.
When did you take it off?
Conspiracy.
Right before we started recording.
I
wasn't paying attention either.
I wasn't paying attention.
Spooky stuff.
I think she had the gray shirt on.
If you want to keep up to date with Mr. Joe at work, joeafterwork.com.
Joe at work.
NintendoGuru.com and this channel. I will see you guys next week, and have a good one.
Peace out, Preston.
That was fun.
Said it.
I would have punched you in the throat.
Oh my God.